Well, hey there, Gabe. What's going on, man? It would be Thursday, April 1st. It's the morning hours, like 8:15-ish. I just woke up, and right after this video, my semester in school starts at Western Governors University. Semester is a very loose term because I basically define what I do in that semester. There's not traditional classes per se. You basically just enroll in a class. The final test is available right from the get-go, and if you feel comfortable that you know the content, then you just take it and you hopefully pass the test, and that's about it. It's very competency based. It's not a traditional college, but that's what I like about it because I think it'll give me a lot more flexibility in getting my degree and maybe getting it a little bit faster than other people would. But that's why I'm not recording this video. That's not why I'm recording this video. Although it is pretty good news, and I'm finally getting back into my educational side. It's about time I finally get my degree, maybe a bachelor's or a master's. But since it is a Thursday, it is time to weigh myself in on the scale over there. And as far as how things are going right now, it's okay. We're still living that loner life. I've hung out with Andre last Friday at Cheesecake, and that was pretty fun. And he also invited me tomorrow to hang out with his crew. I mean, the sales team over at this one restaurant in Jamaica, like around the time they get out of work. So that's pretty nice. It's nice that he's kind of still including me, in his like work activities and this and that. So I am looking forward to that. I might drink. I'm not sure what's gonna happen. I'm not really sure what to expect, but I'm gonna try and dress okay. Make sure I'm doing enough conversation with those guys. Keep in touch with them. But I'm happy I got invited in the first place because enough of the loner lifestyle makes you kind of any invite to anything is kind of a good thing. And since Owen and Rubio and Snacks and them, they're not really on my radar anymore. They're not really don't really seem to care about interacting with me. That and then I'm just gonna have to find new people. And I think hanging out with them is probably hanging out with Andre and them probably is like the best case scenario right now. Right now, obviously, and it's subject to change. Whole reason why I'm on this diet is that when I eventually cut off enough pounds, I'm gonna probably go back on Tinder, and hopefully find somebody that can occupy my time. Not somebody to rely on, but it's just nice to have somebody. In terms of keeping myself occupied, I've just been playing a lot of the Outer Worlds. Right now, I'm playing it on Supernova difficulty, which I wouldn't really say it's hard. It just adds to the tediousness of the game, but that's okay. I just really want to get all the achievements for some reason, even though I'm not usually a completionist, but I found it kind of doable in this sense. I want the DLC for it, so we're gonna play those as well. I found I really enjoyed the game. I really don't have any qualms with it. It was a very nice experience. Reminded me of Fallout New Vegas. Wasn't quite as big. And I probably would have liked Fallout New Vegas better if I played it at the time it came out. But playing it today, it crashes a lot. It's distracting how like five voice actors do every character in the game. So ultimately, I just decided to I actually like the Outer Worlds a little bit better, and maybe that is subject to change if I come back to New Vegas sooner or later. But at the moment, Outer Worlds it feels a lot more polished. I like the gunplay a little bit better, and I've been playing that. I've been watching a lot of Marvel movies. I'm gonna tell you which ones I watched because some of them, like I've been debating whether or not I should go back and watch like the entire MCU like I did back in my junior year to like maybe bring back some memories or something. I'm not really sure, but I kind of skipped along and played or watched what I thought were basically like the greatest hits. So Iron Man, Iron Man 2, which is slept on. Believe me, I watched it now and I have a deep appreciation for it. Captain America: The Winter Soldier, Captain America: Civil War, Spider Man: Homecoming, Avengers: Endgame. I think that's it. I think I skipped Ragnarok because I remember like the more I watched it, it kind of like just didn't really click for me. I was thinking of watching Iron Man 3 though, but the fact that the ending kind of like is retcon makes it kind of like I don't know, hard to go back to, but um at the end of Endgame, the kid that hangs out with Tony in Iron Man 3 shows up at the funeral, and I'm like, oh, I forgot that scene. That's actually like a really cool moment in Iron Man 3. But I don't know. We'll have to see if I go back to Iron Man 3, but since I watched Endgame and everything already, it feels weird to kind of like regress back in the timeline. Um, the ones that had me feeling the most, though, were the Spider Man movies. And I don't know what it is of those two movies. Homecoming in particular. Homecoming made me feel this way more than Far From Home. But Homecoming like really instills like this feeling, the feelings I had when I was back in high school. Um, and Peter himself is just part of that like duo with Ned where they kind of talk the same language that I used to talk about like with Rubio or somebody else back in the day. It's really strange to look at because it's like wow, that's really accurate. That's a really accurate depiction of how people are in high school, and it really had me feel something. The first time I watched Homecoming, it was the summer of my sophomore year, and I think it was the first movie that I watched by myself because I really wanted to see it, but probably at the time I just didn't really have anybody to view it with. Didn't really want to view it with my parents or anything like that. I just went and saw it by myself. I think that was the first movie I saw by myself. Um, and later on, that just kind of became the norm. Um, and I don't know, like something thematically about that movie. It's so very strong, and I have a good time every time I watch it because it's well, part of the fact is that I know the locations that are filmed. There's like this one like rooftop in Sunnyside. Um, I learned that I was actually filmed at Jamaica Avenue and 117th Street, which is literally the neighborhood I worked back in October 2020 with Spectrum. I was on 118th Street. And so like, I recognized the block, and I'm like, holy shit, he was there. You know what I mean? That's a cool thing about living as a New Yorker. You kind of like, you recognize Spider Man's turf. I don't really hang out in Manhattan too often, so the fact that there was like a little bit of a focus on Queens, that was really nice actually. Um, so I really enjoyed that movie in particular. Every time I go back to it, most movies, every time I rewatch them, they kind of get like a little bit worse, or like, okay, they're still how I remember them. But Homecoming, I feel like it gets a little bit better, honestly. Um, there's a little bit of cringe in there, obviously, because it is a high school movie, but it is very well done. That's all I'm gonna have to say. And I think I relate to the character of Tom Holland's Peter more than I do to Tobey Maguire's Peter. Although ultimately, I think I do prefer the Maguire verse or whatever you call it. I think it's just probably nostalgia, or maybe just like the fact that like it's iconic and it kind of stands for something with the 9/11 symbolism and this and that. Though I think my ultimate preference is towards Toby, but I like them for different reasons, and I think they're basically on the same scale right now. So I like them equally. I'm probably gonna end up watching Spider-Man 1 and 2 later on, probably today and tomorrow. And I'm also trying to get my YouTube channel going. I'm working on this one video on Ratchet 2 in kind of like a video game donkey review style. So we'll see how that goes. But now that I'm back in school, I'm gonna have a little bit less free time to work on that video. But I do have to get it out. Like I promised myself I was gonna get that out. Maybe make like a Trailer Park Boys video or something like that. Cause you know what? You got only one life, so you might as well just make the most of it. I mean, like I would I would much rather do something and have it backfire or get a bunch of dislikes or something like that than not do it and wonder like what would have happened if I posted it. So that's the plan. And I guess I'm keeping you waiting for too long, Gabe. So we'll just step on the scale and see what happens. Kind of nervous, honestly. Just give me 1 second. I'm gonna put down the phone so the scale isn't influenced by it. Hey, that's not bad. That's 194.8. I believe last time it was 199.5. So that gets us down like another 4 pounds, something like that. That's pretty good. That's how I look in the mirror. And the litmus test I'm gonna do after I record this video is putting on this Sonic and Knuckles shirt. This shit is iconic, all right. Just you looking from this, I'm sure you remember like, oh, that shirt, because I don't know, there was something about wearing it back in the day that was like, okay, this is the shirt. You know what I mean? Had a very nice cotton fit to it. Um, fit very well, made me feel very confident back in high school. So, my goal is that I'm able to fit into that shirt again, and I'm not sure I have to go all the way down back to like 150 to fit into it, or maybe 170, 160. But that's the ultimate goal, and every week I kind of try it on and see like how close I am to fitting into it. It's a weird test, but I just do it anyway. And this next week is going to be a little bit tough because I don't have any Nutrisystem food left. Or, I mean, I'm lying, man, when I say that. I do, but it's none of the stuff that I like because the chef's choice put in like a bunch of stuff that I don't like. So these chocolate pretzels are really nasty. These Nutra chocolatey wafers are really nasty. Like anything chocolate appears to be really bad, but then I have like their chocolate bars and they're actually really, really good. So at the moment, I'm waiting for the next shipment. So in the meantime, I'm just gonna have to portion out my calories um, with actual food. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully, it doesn't impact the weight loss too much. But I'm surprised, given the fact that in the first week, I believe I lost 8 pounds. In the second week, I lost 4 pounds. And if I'm at this weight right now, I think it's like another 4 pounds. So if I can keep that consistently, hey, cool, man. But I know that it gets harder as time goes on, so I do have to keep an eye out. But regardless, things are pretty good. Can't really complain. I gotta get started with college though, because time is a ticking. It's 8:30, and I work from 8 to 12 on college every single morning. I'll catch you later, man. Take care.